So you mentioned the possibility of doing a pass-fail mask for a signal. That sounds pretty useful. Can you show us how to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're going to do is we've got a little test board here, and we've got a signal that seems to be misbehaving a little bit.
No.
So we'll see what happens. So we've got our scope set up in our default mode. It's actually always a good idea to know how to get back to your default settings. So on this scope, you go into the storage menu, you hit the little button called default at the bottom. So this gets you back to everything known good, right in your wheelhouse sort of area. So now we're going to connect our little signal, tied up to our board, and then we're going to hit the magic auto button. So the auto button is going to give us our first look. And the great thing we see is right away from the auto setting, we can see that there's something a little fishy about this signal. Yeah, sometimes it's dropping out on us. So the first thing I like to do is then kind of zoom in on that guy.
Yeah.
And then we can see in about 10 nanoseconds or 5 nanoseconds per division, we're seeing a clear little drop out there. So what do we want to do about that?
Fix it.
Well, we're definitely going to fix it, but first we want to analyze it a little deeper, right? So let's go ahead and we're going to record. We're going to record a bunch of frames. So there we actually recorded 20,000 frames of that.
Oh, wow.
So 25,000 captures of that. And we're going to go into the record mode menu. And let's see if we can't analyze that.
Hey, analyze button.
So now we're in our kind of default pass-fail mode.
Yeah, okay.
Now there's a couple things we can do here. We can go into the range setting and create our own sort of pass-fail mask around this signal.
Sure.
We also can load one from earlier. So let's see if we can't do that today.
Load one from earlier.
So if you're doing multiple tests on the same kind of signal, you might very well need to load up have one pass-fail mask and run lots of boards, lots of different tests on the same sort of pass-fail mask. So we see this particular wave, this first wave out of this pass-fail looks fine. So let's go ahead and tell it to start and see what the other 20,000 look like.
Okay. So when you want to load your own, is that something you can generate on here, or is that generated the way that we fed in a good signal?
Yeah, you can. What you do is you take a known good, hook that in, create a pass-fail mask from it, and save that. And we just saved it to the internal memory here.
Okay. Could you also save it to this handy flash drive slot that's hanging out
we'll
out there?
play with the flash drive in a minute, but yeah, the flash drive on the front is great because it allows you to save data, screen captures, setups, pass-fail masks, all kinds of information off for later use on a computer.
Nice, and I see there's a connection back here too.
Yep.
Different? Same?
A little different. Almost all the scopes on the back have USB and Ethernet. So this would be for connecting to a computer.
Okay, versus
instead
a flash
of a memory
drive.
stick, right?
Okay.
So there you can actually do programmatic things, automation, and kind of direct real-time data.
Neat. Okay.
All right, so it did a nice, easy job and said that out of those, let's see exactly, out of those 21,499 frames, we had 17 that went bad.
Wow.
So just about 1 in 1,000 of those is dropping out for some reason.
And I see little red marks. Can you see which frames?
Yeah, so we can go through and we can look at each failure frame by clicking this button here, go back and forth this way, and see what all the failures are about. We could also kind of scroll through and look at the good frames as well that are nearby it. Maybe there's a hint. Maybe we have maybe if we put the MSO channels, the other channel, on some of the digital signals, we could get some causality to make a board rev for.
Right. Okay.
All right. So now we got one of those failures. So let's go ahead and take our memory stick. And since we have that failure loaded up on the screen, we want to put that into a report to send to the boss. And see what the problem is. Right. So we have to talk about it at the engineering meeting next week. Let's go over and we'll collect CSV data from the displayed data. I'll capture a parameter as well. And then I'm just going to go and hit save. And just make sure I got that in. I'm going to manage my disk over up to the D drive. And that will give me access to save it right there.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit the OK button, and it's going to save us a couple files. It's going to save us one, which is a CSV file showing our time data and our voltage data, and then a parameter value. So if we have to go back to it, we can say, all right, these are the settings we used to get that data.
Okay.
And then on the computer, we can take that file, open it in Excel, quickly add a chart, and look at that data that way as well.
Wow. Okay. And see basically what you see on the screen here, but broken apart by points. That's
absolutely
very neat.
So that's how we use the pass-fail mask to really get a deeper dive in analysis and use the waveform and record features on the 2000 series scopes.
Okay.